everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman, heading to work on this brisk Saturday morning. Just wanted to do a quick video on the way to work. Haven't done a video in a while other than a live, so I wanted to reach out to you guys. Let me get my seatbelt on so I don't get pulled over. Drive safely. Just wanted to touch on a couple topics, but just real quick, a programming alert. I will be doing a lunchtime chat today, probably around 2:30, 2:45 Eastern, like always. And then I will link it in the comments after my chat. Don't forget to join me and Primetime Phil on Primetime Phil tonight at 8 o'clock, brought to you by Primetime Studios. So we will have the Cowboy Panther breakdown and discuss all things NFL as we always do. So let me fix the camera so it's not so jacky. So the NFL is, listen, we need to understand something. The NFL is all about sponsors, and now that we have a team in friggin' Las Vegas, and the gambling is what it is, NFL teams have to be 100% transparent when it comes to their injuries. Now, NFL is coming down on teams who do not do this. That's why you'll see, ever since Deflategate, you'll see Bill Belichick put sprained pinkies. Bill Belichick's injury report is literally a mile long, usually every week. And I like that philosophy because that's the same as putting nobody, right? If you say everybody's injured, that's just, to me, that's the same as saying nobody's injured. So, but they're coming down, or they want to come down. There's an investigation about Joe Burrow. As we all saw, Joe Burrow hurt his hand. Whether it was in a game, I don't know. But he had a brace on. Joe Burrow had a brace on. There was video of him having some sort of contraption on his throwing hand, wrist. The Pro Football Talk, I think, had the video. It was since deleted, or the team, I'm not sure, but regardless, there was a video that was deleted, and now we saw what happened during the game. He obviously came into the game banged up. That's a no-no, people. You need to disclose your injuries, whether the NFL wants to admit it or not. Once you allow a gambling and have sports gambling and being able to bet on NFL games, you open the door to all this. You don't think there's people, I mean, shout out to Barstool Sports owner Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy put a bet, and if I was Dave, I would be pissed off. He put a bet of $576,000 for the Bengals to win the Super Bowl recently. The way it sounds, I mean, it wasn't after the injury, but, people are putting big bets on the Bengals, and in-game betting, as you know, is big. And them not saying nothing is an issue. Just like the Eagles not disclosing when everybody in the world knew that the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, was banged up. Okay? I'm sure they'll look into that as well. If I'm the Bengals, I'm saying, look into Philly. Look into this team. Look into that team. That's just how it works these days. Whether you like it, whether I like it, you have to disclose your injuries. This isn't NHL hockey where you could say lower body injury. No, you need to be specific, and that's because the NFL is the most gambled event. Especially, you guys already know about the Super Bowl. the most gambled sport ever. So that's topic number one. I'll be curious to see what they're going to do. I don't see much use in not disclosing an injury, especially something that's obvious, like listen, Hurts had a knee bruise. What, is somebody going to go for the knees? It's a bruise. It's just sore. Why wouldn't you disclose that? It's not like they're going to target the injury. Anything at the knee is going to be flagged anyway. So, anyway, that's one. So, you stay tuned for that and that investigation. And, like the NFL is like the government. Anytime they investigate something, it costs money, and it usually doesn't end very well. But it is what it is. I see Miles Jack, ex-Eagle Miles Jack, who retired from the Eagles. Why he would retire from Philly, I don't know. That was a perfect situation for him. Not sure what happened behind the scenes. Miles Jack retired. Eagles must have let him go out of his contract because he's unretiring and signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I don't know what happened. You would think the Eagles linebackers are not very good. As you could, just being honest, they're mediocre at best. But he wanted to retire from Philly. You would have thought that would have been a good spot for him. Apparently not. He's signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that was kind of interesting. I would like to know the story behind that. Why he didn't just stay in Philly. He had a great opportunity on a winning team. But I don't know. Next order of business. The Cleveland Browns are not pursuing Joe Flacco. And I only bring this up because, we're heading into the Panther game, right? As a Cowboy fan. And what I told Primetime Phil and Mark Holmes is, I don't care. Mark doesn't have a lot of respect for the Panthers. I pointed out that they're number 6 overall against the pass. I don't know. That's just the bottom line. After 10 weeks of the season, that's a pretty good stat. You can't just say, well, their run defense is horrible, that's why. That's not how it works, in my opinion. So, on the road, Dallas hasn't really, points-wise they have, but their offense hasn't really gone off like it does at home. So, my only goal for tomorrow's game is to win the game. I don't give a crap if it's by 3 points and get out healthy. I have Dak Prescott in my fantasy league, but I just want to get out healthy because anybody that gets hurt tomorrow is done for the next 2 games because you'd have a quick turnaround, all right, and then you have a following another Thursday game. So just get a win. As much as I want our offense to go nuts, I'm not harping on that. I just want to win and get out healthy. But because if you look around the league, you got Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, you saw Lamar Jackson limping, you saw Jalen Hurts limping around. Now, he had a bye, he should be fine, but, I did hear somewhere, I saw G-Bag Nation, a shout out to 105.3 The Fan in the DFW. I listened to that on the Odyssey app. Shout out Odyssey app. Stephen Catboy Jones was asked, should the rules be changed for quarterbacks as far as injured reserve or a trade deadline? Should you be able to make a trade past the deadline for quarterbacks? And of course, Stephen, and I agree with Stephen, this is one thing we could agree on. No, you have a cap for you have a deadline for a reason. These teams who want to go, that's the one thing that I like about what Dallas did. Even though they have their grizzled veteran who can steady the ship, but they went out and got somebody, whether I like giving up a 4th round pick for Trey Lance or not. They got a young guy who I think, God forbid, if something were to happen to Dak, you would see him start, I would assume. If it was a one-game situation, maybe not. But I think if it was a long-term situation, I think that would go to Lance. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. So they're trying to, these teams are all butthurt, like the Bengals. Is it my fault that the Bengals didn't go out and get a good backup quarterback? Is it my fault that the Browns didn't go out and get a good backup quarterback? Is it my fault that the Eagles' backup quarterback stinks? Marcus Mariota. If anybody saw him in the preseason, they should have kept Gardner Minshew, in my opinion. So, I don't know, but very interesting to me. So, this is another interesting thing, getting back to the Cowboy game. Well, first let me touch on Jason Peters has been activated. The old man in the sea. Jason Peters has been activated to the active roster, or to the 53 ahead of tomorrow's game for the Seattle Seahawks. My man is still cashing checks. Shout out to Jason Peters. I thought he did okay for the Cowboys, but he couldn't play very much. So I don't know. I'm glad we didn't go for him again. I think they realized that he's a shell of himself. He really is. Hall of Fame career, though. Shout out to Jason Peters. So he's going to be on the active roster, so that should be interesting. But the last order of business, which I find funny, the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, our Cowboys are there now. Well, no, they're probably leaving. They're not there yet, right? They'll probably leave this afternoon. It's a short plane ride, says Mark. The Carolina Panthers are practicing the silent count for tomorrow's game at home against the Cowboys. Now, we were thinking about going to the game in Carolina. We since decided against it, and for reasons. I mean, I tried to get off from work. It's very, very busy time. Mark couldn't swing it financially, so it is what it is. But I was looking into tickets, and they were asking like $600, like a seat for upper level. I mean, that's friggin' nuts. And this was early on in the season. Maybe they're cheaper now. But my guess is all the locals, since they only have one win, are probably selling all their tickets. I just find it hard to believe that there's going to be that many Cowboy fans. I guess not. I guess we're going to represent tomorrow, which is good, because we could use every advantage that we could get playing on the road outside on the grass. I'm a little worried about the game injury-wise. I think we'll somehow get the win. I think it'll be ugly at times. I hope I'm all wrong, and I hope they roll. I got Dak on my fantasy, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I need a win this week, so we shall see. So, but that's the video. The Panthers are doing the silent count for a home game against our Cowboys. Incredible. But yeah, that's the video. Don't forget to check me out at 2:45 Eastern. I'm going to head into work soon in a couple minutes for my lunchtime chat at 2:45 Eastern time. And again, I will put in the link in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video, please. I appreciate you all. Peace out.